Let's take a look at what's in my toy box. This is a collection of my old toys, mainly action figures, from the 80s and 90s that I kept since my childhood. It's by no means an extensive collection. I mean, for some toy lines I only have one figure, but it's what I had, and I mostly made this video for posterity and to share with all of you. So let's take a look at what else is in my collection. Now, my most favorite thing in the world when I was a kid was dinosaurs. So naturally, I like Dino Riders.
Dino Riders!
I only had two of them. The first one was Monoclonius with Mako. So Mako is a shark from the Rulons, a hammerhead shark, and he sat on top of this single-horned dinosaur. He's got his helmet and spikes on his tail, and if you move his tail, oops, and if you move his tail, his head will move. There's a saddle and he's armed with rockets and a blaster, and Mako sits on top. And Dino Riders were really known for making very good, realistic dinosaurs. There were a few accessories. Mako has this rocket launcher and a mace, and there was a ladder as well to help him get up onto his perch. The next one was one of the Dino Riders, Dimetrodon and Shadow. But where's Shadow, you say? All I see is a dinosaur. But he's behind. Shh! Pew pew pew! Surprise! And these blasters can pop down too, to take out the enemy Rulons. I don't really know how much of a surprise that is, seeing as he's hiding on the other side of the sail, and this side of the sail has a big metal plate, which is a dead giveaway. But in any case, he really should be on the other side too. But those Rulons aren't really the smartest bunch. This Dimetrodon, which technically is not a dinosaur, has a button on his tail, and that controls his chompers. Nom 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 nom. Oh, he also comes with some accessories. He's got a pendant and a chest brace with a gun that swings over his head like that. What seems to be a 1980s camcorder, and this weird drill, which I'm not sure what they used for. Maybe it was for dino tooth extraction. Who knows? Zzz. Now, for some reason, for Dino Riders and some of the other toy lines that you'll see later on, I kept the boxes. Don't ask me why. Maybe as a kid I thought they were cool and I liked the artwork, or I just wanted it as a memento. But there we have it. Not in pristine condition, but the box nonetheless. And that's what the packaging looked like. Oh, how cool is that? Maybe that's the reason. Look at that picture. Yeah, it's all the action. All the big dinosaurs. Very cool. That was for Monoclonius. And here is the Dimetrodon one with Shadow. Also with a flip cover. And same artwork on the back. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I even have this from Monoclonius. All the parts list and assembly instructions. As well as the boxes, I kept the comic books for Dino Riders. I only have two, of course. There's one there and one there. Pretty much the same as the cartoon itself. This next one is Sectaurs.
These are the Sectaurs, the warriors of Symbion.
This guy is Dargon, and I think he's the leader of the good guys. It was a series where they were kind of like insectoids, and they had insect companions, or they rode on them. For a leader, he wasn't very well equipped. He just had a knife that could go on his foot, either side, and a small shield. He's got these binoculars. And these toys were good because they were quite posable, but they had squishy heads. You can see that there. And his little sidekick was a guy called Parafly, which was a small dragonfly-like creature. Unfortunately, that hasn't stood the test of time, and these plastic wings are rather flimsy. They've since broken off, but if they were there, you were able to press down on this part here where it's flexible, and that would make the wings flap. He could connect himself to the back of Dargon like that and cling on. Maybe he could fly too, see? And then I only had one other bad guy. His name was Zach. Mean looking fellow. Nice outfit. There's a rifle here and a sidearm here. As I said, it's all very nicely designed. A lot of straps. And he had a beetle that looked like a dog. Got 6 legs. Big teeth. You press the button on his back, and that makes his mouth chomp. So I did keep some of the comics. There's one there. That was also inside. Join the club. So that was very cool. They had really nice looking characters there. There's the comic book there. I really wish I had the bigger ones, like at the back here. One of the big spiders or beetles. How cool do they look? Another toy line that came with comic book was Legions of Power. Now I'll start with the comic book first. And you know what I'm talking about. So this was a group of warriors who used tech and big tanks to fight each other. You can make the tanks into different configurations. They're the Star Legions, good guys, and the Tech Dynasty, the bad guys, who are always hiding their identity. The other inserts were the instructions for assembly. So this is the one that I had, which was one of the Tech Dynasty tanks, and this is the catalog with all the space stations and tanks. Blue for good, red for bad, and spacecraft. All very cool if you're a young boy. So the one that I have is Commander Vortex tank, which is the one you just saw, red one. Open the canopy and there he is. The little guy. Doesn't seem very imposing. Looks very cute, in fact, with his little mask and his rubbery arms and legs. It just sits inside there. But this is just one configuration. And they were motorized too. So you would open up this battery pack there, chuck in some of those big, what are they? C size, D size batteries. And then you just turn that and it will start to turn the tracks, which is very cool. But I've tried it out. Unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore. I haven't really bothered to check the contacts, but it did at one stage. Comes with a few extra pieces. There's a platform that goes on the top. This one pivots. And there's another one of these ones for the radar. So you can set it up in any configuration. They're just round connectors, very simple to put together. You could even, I guess, build a tower and have it raised up and put guns in different locations. And I guess if you have more of them, you can do more with it. Now the next two are from two of my favorite cartoons of the 80s. And the first one is the Central Organization of Police Specialists. And one of those specialists is A.P.S. A.P.S. stands for Automated Police Enforcement System. So this guy could do it all. He's got a helmet. And he could reach hard to reach places with his mechanical stilts. How good is that? And he had all sorts of weapons. He had this large grappling tool for catching crooks. And he also had this massive gun. And this insert allowed you to put in caps, not the round ring ones, but those tape ones. So you insert that through there, pull back the hammer, and bang. And this one could be switched over to this weapon as well. Not sure why, but it's got versatility. And there we go, A.P.S. Following that is another cartoon with an acronym, M.A.S.K, or Mobile Armored Strike Command. They were a group of heroes who rode different vehicles that could convert into something else, and they wore helmets that had special powers. And this guy is Floyd Malloy on his Vampire. He was part of the bad guys, or Venom, which stands for Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem. They were really pushing the boundaries with the acronyms. This guy is one angry customer. Now I see why he needs to wear a mask. So he was on a motorbike, which he really couldn't hold. And this converts when you press the button at the back into a flying bike. Reveals a machine gun and some rockets, which you can fire, but you just have to push the back. And then you just push the back in again to make it go to bike mode. And our friend Floyd goes back on top Oh no, that's a little bit sensitive. They had some really cool stuff. Well, there you go. That's the only one that I've got. Returning back to vehicles, I had some special Matchbox cars. This range were the Matchbox connectables. Much like the combiners, they came apart and you could customize your builds. These ones were in 3 parts, so you could mix and match. We'll make a flying truck hot rod. There we go. You could do all sorts of things. My biggest car collection was actually micro machines. But that's a fire station, I hear you say. Well, turn it around, you open the back, and you could keep all your little micro machines in there. Now, the special thing about this fire station was that you could put batteries in here, and it has a light bulb, and it would light up all the little windows around here, but I don't think the contact points are too good anymore. These little things on the top, the siren and the communications tower, could also disconnect. And the doors at the front open, so you could drive your vehicles out. I use this for storage. So let's have a look at some of the cars. So here we have the fire engine. The convertible. As you'll know, all the doors open up. The boot and the bonnet. This one too. All very 80s looking cars. Lamborghini. The wing doors. Oh, and there's a bonnet as well. Another convertible. This one, oh, and this one. Oh, I think that one's broken at the back. I used to clip on, and you could just flip this up. Drag car. And these ones didn't have any moving parts. Plus this old vintage black one. And up the back, we got all the tanks. As usual, very nice detail. Hours of fun to be had there, but a little bit fragile. One of the last toys in my toy box is a little different from the previous ones. Not so much an action figure, just as fun all the same. It's Inspector Gadget! One of the funniest cartoons out there. He's got all the gadgets and surprises like you see in the cartoon. He's a bionic policeman. There's his trench coat and his police uniform, his trilby hat. He's got a button on his back, on the back of his legs, on his arms. So if you press it, out pops his hand. You can pop out his head. It's telescopic. And go Gadget legs. And he also has his left hand, but this one's a bit temperamental. Now he's got all his accessories, all his gadgets, got his helicopter, put on his head, give it a spin, the handlebar there, and he can hold that. This is not working out, is it? There we go, you get the picture. A hand that pops out. You can put like a hammer. There you go, hammer. An umbrella. There is one other toy that was in my box which isn't from the 80s or early 90s, but I included it just because it's something a bit older that I had, and I do like Lego. It's a Bionicle from early 2000s. This particular one, his name is Levak. And he's from the Bo-Rock clan. He's already put together, as you can see, but you can unfold him. His legs come down. There are his feet. And his arms as well. There's his face. Oh, these are the wrong way around. There we go. And there's a rubber band at the back here, which makes his head move. You can press the lever at the back. And there's his little mask on the inside. Little red one. And fold it up into a ball again. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.